Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Clan Eshin has sent their best assassin, and he is going to be looking for the eternal challenger today in the form of Wulfric the Wanderer. We have Skaven versus Norsca. Skaven are being led by Legion, and Norscans are being led by Malverde. For the front line of the Skaven forces, it is pretty much just going to be a bunch of Skaven slaves, kind of providing that initial buffer for the rest of the Skaven, and they are going to be backed up by some Clan Rat Spears, 3 of those, and now we're going to get into some of the heavy hitters, where we do have the Poison Wind Mortars, the Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters, we have some Warp Grinders, a Rat Ogre unit, and then we also have the Ikit Zap Zap Warp Lightning Cannon ROR, and they will be protected by the Council Guard, the Unbreakable Storm Vermin. We also have some more Ishka's Triads in the back and another unit Clan Rat Spears. And for the leadership department, it is, of course, Deathmaster Snickich, and he's going to be rocking with his assassin buddy. So the Deathmaster is going to be bringing the Deathmaster Sigil. Always good to see with him. Whirl of Weeping Blades, a good Vortex spell. Kind of good disrupting enemy formations. Good against any kind of blobbed up troops. Of course, Concealment Bomb, Slippery, and the Cloak of Shadows, providing a nice melee defense debuff and leadership debuff to all units around him. And his assassin buddy, we are probably going to be seeing, we have the Assassin Trophy and Rival Hide Talisman, pretty much a must include for the assassin hero. And then we also have some Plague Monk Sensor Bearers as well, who have the Contaminated ability, providing -10 leadership to those they are in contact with. So that will help break that enemy line. The Norscans have a decent leadership, and let's get on over to what they have brought. So we do have, of course, Wulfric the Wanderer. He is going to be on his chariot this time. He's going to be bringing Seafang, Fight or Die, and Hunter of Champions. I'm not so sure he's going to want to be tangling with those assassins. Even with Hunter Champions, those assassins are going to do quite the number on him. We do have a front line of a mix of just Marauders with some Marauder Berserkers mixed in. So 3 Berserkers and the rest are all going to be Marauders. We have some Marauder Ice Wolf Chariots on the far side for some mobility, as well as a Skin Wolf. So we have 2 Skin Wolves in the back, and then we actually have 2 Fimir Balefiends, one of Shadows bringing the Pendulum, and the other bringing Burning Head. So we have 2 Arcane Conduits with them, so they have quite a bit of magic to work with. And we do also have 3 Marauder Hunters with Javelins, pretty much in the event that you're going to be seeing a Hell Pit Abomination, though those do well against other targets, because there are some Rat Ogres, so they will have some decent large targets to be shooting at. But that will wrap things up. The Norscans going very, very wide, looking to overwhelm the Skaven line as quickly as possible and hit with as many different avenues as they can. Ikit Zap Zaps, though, is starting to open up. I'm sure they'll start be targeting some of the larger targets, any of the Skin Wolves, or perhaps any of the heroes, as now the Marauder Ice Wolf Chariots is kind of wandering about. A few shots coming in from the Poison Wind Mortars. I think those shots are going to be best used against the Marauders themselves. Now, actually, if we see these Natty Boo Boos kind of a little too far forward, I think, but the Warp Grinders are trying to get in to get their snare down to shut that chariot down as quickly as they can. So they'll be kind of shadowing around where these Ice Wolf chariots are going to be coming in. Now those chariots are going to be coming in and out just fine. I don't think they're going to really have too much of a problem, though these Natty Boo Boo Sharpshooters really should start opening up. They can do some pretty good work themselves. We do have Wulfric the Wanderer starting to circle around with one of the Skin Wolf, and the other Skin Wolf is trying to circle around on the other side, but there are plenty of anti-large tools to keep those Skin Wolves from getting in. They're not going to really be able to push in unless they have a nice gap, as we do have some Rat Ogres as well, who are looking to be trying to get on top of these chariots. But yeah, the Natty Boo Boos are continuing to just open fire as the mortars doing some nice damage to these Berserkers, and they will do continued time after damage with their hits. Actually, Wulfric the Wanderer taking some considerable damage as the Ikit Zap Zap is firing at pretty much point-blank range, doing a good amount of work here. Each shot that fires home is doing a lot of damage, and we either have a Pendulum or a Burning Head. Looks like a Burning Head. It is going to be able to be dodged by the Skaven, both the Plague Monk Sensor Bearers and the Clan Rat Spears getting out of the way. That would have done a considerable amount of damage to those Plague Monk Sensor Bearers had they been able to connect. A nice Pendulum going down, though, absolutely tearing through the crew of Ikit Zap Zaps. I take about pretty much half health on it, but Wolfric has taken a considerable amount of damage, and I think they've already paid for themselves with the amount of damage that they have been doing. Marauder Berserkers continuing to take a ton of damage, doing a nice bit of friendly fire from those Poison Wind Mortars, but they are into just some Clan Rat Spears. They are a little bit expendable. And they are able to break one of the Marauder Berserkers outright, with even the Marauder Icewind Chariots taking a considerable amount of damage. And now there are some open avenues, though, for these Skinwolves to be getting in, as the backlines have been kind of pulled in different directions. Ishka's Triad's a little out of position right now, allowing these Skinwolves to just get a nice free charge in. They pretty much will be shattering them right off the get-go, as they only have 19 models left, and they might be able to just shatter them outright. Perhaps, but it is too late, as Wolfric has been pushed off the map from all of that focus fire. So that is going to be a lot of the stopping power against the Deathmaster and the Assassin. It's going to be really hard to deal with them at this point. You can focus them down a bit with the Javelins if you're able to get some clear shots at them, and but I mean, the Fimir Balefiends aren't going to be able to do too much. The snare from these Warp Grinders going down, stopping these Marauders from getting in, and they wanted to probably catch out these Marauder Icewind Chariots as well, but they were able to at least keep these Poison Wind Mortars firing, as that provided a nice area where they couldn't really get on top of them for the time being. Another Pendulum going down, cutting through some of the Ishka's Triads. Right now, though, if you take a look, the bounce power is still fairly even, despite the fact that Wolfric has been pushed off the map. The Fimir Balefiends are still sitting pretty right now, as the Marauder Hunters are starting to push forward. And these Fimir Balefiends are pretty much just fine to be staying out here. You have Rat Ogres, but the Fimir Balefiends are no slouches themselves. They should be able to hold off the one unit of Rat Ogres for at least the time being, before anyone are able to get in. But a nice Burning Head ripping right on through the Council Guard, not doing a whole lot of damage. Doing more damage to the Warp Grinders, if anything. They are Storm Vermin after all. They do have a decent amount of armor, so they're not really going to be taking too much from that. But I'm always taking a look. A lot of the Skaven forces have been chasing some units off, and these Plague Monks, Clan Rat Spears, and these Skaven Slaves getting pulled very far out of the way, especially those Plague Monks. A very expensive unit to not have in the fight for as long as they were. Council Guard, though, doing a good job keeping two units busy for the time being, as Ishka's Triads move to push off these Marauders with the help of the Deathmaster, as the 90 Moopa Sharpshooters are still free to fire, and they are firing into some very good targets right now, into the Skinwolves, doing a lot of good damage. So we do have the other unit of Ishka. So this is I believe this one is the summon from the ROR, or no, perhaps that, okay, so this is the actual unit. The other one was the Mirage. Assassin has been taking a bit of damage right now, and that is really the Skaven's big stopping power, is those two Assassins, as the Norskins, they can overwhelm them with their units, but the Fimir Balefiends aren't going to want to be really getting too close to them, especially if the Assassins are going to be running in tandem. But the weapons team for the Skavens are still pretty much free to fire. They have lost Ikit Zap-Zaps, but the Ikit Zap-Zaps, as I said before, have pretty much paid for themselves in the form of getting rid of Wolfric the Wanderer. These Javelins continuing to do some nice damage. Deathmaster Sigil does go down on top of the Fimir Baleflame of Fire, and that is the pretty much the best target for these Assassins and the Deathmaster to deal with as quickly as they can, because that Floor of Fire is pretty much the biggest threat right now to all of their troops. Skinwolves trying to pushing off some of these the Skaven slaves that were coming in to assist. But yeah, the Assassin taking a bit of damage, but yeah, that Fimir Balefiend taking a lot and probably will be routing off the field very, very quickly, and they do get him off. But the Burning Head does go down just in the nick of time. It will be roasting some of the Council Guard, but the Council Guard, again, they won't take a whole lot of damage from that. Now, that Fimir Balefiend is low. He may come back, but we shall see. In the grand scheme of things, balance power actually going a bit back into Norskin's favor, I think, from the damage that this Burning Head was able to dish out, though the Assassin getting a little low. Deathmaster, though, still sitting pretty, and here comes those Plague Monks and Surveyors finally coming in to assist, try and get these Poison Wind Mortars back, but I don't think they'll be coming back. Only 3 models, slivers of HP left. Marauders doing good work with the assistance of the Skinwolves in the backline, and those Skinwolves still have quite a few models, and they are going to be regenerating throughout this late stage of the battle. So we'll be able to see if the Deathmaster and Assassin is enough to carry the day. But things are starting to look a little grim for the Skaven, as a lot of their units have been pushed off, and now with the Fimir Balefiend of Fire coming back, that's going to be able to roast pretty much anything left from the Skaven. Iskra Triads do have one of their barrages back up, though it doesn't really do any damage, just kind of a little bit of a roadblock. Oh, the assassin with the council guards are trying to push things back. These Marauder's javelins have pretty much been able to fire freely. Another Deathmaster sigil does go down, whirling of weep with the, what is that again? The weeping blades does go down, trying to clear up a little bit of space for those assassins to get in. But those javelins were able to delay the assassins just long enough for that Femur Balefine of Shadows to get back and moving again, as these javelins will once again just kind of screen out from their leadership. And yeah, I mean, balance power is still fairly even, and I think that is a lot has to do with the Deathmaster. The Plague Monk Sensor Bearers have taken quite a bit of damage, but they've finally been able to clear up a lot of the Norscan troops as well. And here come 2 units of Skinwolves, and these 2 units of Skinwolves are going to really be the breadwinners, I think, in this point in the match, because that Femur Balefine, they're not going to be able to really deal with it. They're going to have to rely on the Skinwolves at this point. All of the javelins have used up all of their ammunition, so they won't be able to get any range support as well. And now that Femur Balefine is stuck in with the Sensor Bearers, and here comes the Deathmaster to help clear things up, as those Plague Monks are going to go assist their Clan Rat Spears, while the Deathmaster deals his blows and tries to finish off some more of the leadership. And all of the javelins right now are just kind of collapsing on this assassin, really just delaying him. And even with all these numbers, it might be enough to just rout him off from leadership. The Taskmaster has been able to rout the Femur Balefine of Shadows, but both of the Skinwolves are coming in to chase, and that Deathmaster does need the support of the rest of his units if he is going to hope to really push them back. So, I mean, it is important to get this Femur Balefine off, and he does get another Deathmaster Sigil, and that will be enough, though, to finish him off and will free him up to kind of work with the rest of his units. And it's just another hit, and down goes the Femur Balefine, but here come the Skinwolves, and the Sensor Bearers, though, are close to assist. We'll see how things are. One of the Skinwolves wisely going to try and screen out these Plague Monks Sensor Bearers from coming to their Lord's assistance. But we'll see if that Deathmaster, he is a very good melee combatant at whirling of Weeping Blades, going down, routing off these Skinwolves, doing a lot of damage, and that is going to be very, very good for the Skaven, getting one of those Skinwolves off the field, as the other is kind of pulling away from that engagement. Taking a look on the far side of this engagement, we do have Clan Rat Spears breaking one of the javelins, and the assassin very, very low, but with the assistance of the Clan Rat Spears might be able to break this other unit of javelins, though we shall see. Though I think, yeah, the Deathmaster is going to be the hardest target for the Norscans to really deal with at this point. Skinwolves will be able to assist in that regards, but that Femur Balefine not going to be able to do a whole lot there. And the Burning Head is not going to do much to the single entity, though the Plague Monks, they do rout. They are 12 models left. If they are able to come back, that would be a nice little assistance, but it's going to be down to the Skinwolves trying to deal that finishing blow. Javelins pushing off these Clan Rat Spears, and the Assassin is on slivers of HP, but still holding. He does need to try and regroup with his Deathmaster, but we shall see. It might just be a little too much infantry left of the Norscans for the Deathmaster alone to deal with, but a nice catch out again, getting that Femur Balefine to rout, and should be able to take it out with just one more hit, though he was knocked down by the charge of the Skinwolves. A very excellent opportunity charge there, making sure that the Deathmaster couldn't deal that finishing blow, though he is in hot pursuit of the Femur Balefine, and he does bring him down. So now it's going to be Deathmaster versus this unit of Skinwolves. And the Assassin, I mean, the other Assassin I don't think is really going to be able to come back. The other Skinwolves actually do return, and they are going to continue to regen, though the Deathmaster should be able to deal a lot of damage to them. Well, he won't get his bonus. We'll see just if he's going to be able to, but I think he is going to rout from leadership momentarily, as there's just too many Norscan troops left for just the Assassins to deal with things. So the Assassins does ride off one of the javelins, but he does shatter, and that will be our match. Take a look at the after battle report. I think the Skaven, they struggled a bit. They didn't have any magic on the field, which I think just a Plague Priest or anything with some summons would probably have been enough to really keep those weapons teams operational for pretty much the full duration of the match. The Norscans went very wide, and the Skaven were able to hold for quite some time, allowing their mortars to fire in. And I mean, they had blue sharpshooters. I mean, they were firing on the chariot, doing some good work there. And I think it gets Zapsaps. They only had 5 kills, but they pretty much made Wolfric a non-factor in that battle, which is a very good early snipe out for them. Wolfric definitely getting a little too close without the proper support. But Plague Monk Sensor Bears, again, they were out of the picture for a little while. They still racked up a good amount of kills and were very instrumental in keeping the Deathmaster going in that late game. Well, this is a very Norscan favored matchup, especially with all of the units that can quickly break the Skaven and the mobility that they possess. So it's not a uncommon sight to see 4 skin wolves in this matchup. They're just so strong because the Skaven, without their warp lightning cannons or Giselles, they just can't break them down fast enough, as they do have regenerating. You might also see a help hit on the Skaven side as well to help anchor that formation, and that is why you were seeing the javelins from the Norscans, who did pick up quite a few chevrons there. I don't recall that that was initially given to them at the start of the match, but they did rack up some decent amount of kills and were able to use all of their ammunition throughout the course of the match. They didn't really have any good targets, but it was good damage over time for them. But that was a very good match, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. And as always, have a good one.